Some people say love and hate are two sides of the same coin. Flip it one way, you're smitten. Flip it the other, you're seething. I learned that lesson firsthand. I work as a regional logistics coordinator for a major retail chain. My job doesn't involve supervising anyone directly. I mostly deal with outside vendors and supply schedules. That means what happens inside the store rarely crosses into my world. That's why when I started seeing Clarissa, one of the floor associates, I didn't think it'd be a problem. No rules broken, no workplace scandal. We weren't exactly flaunting it, but we weren't sneaking around either. Of course, stores like ours thrive on gossip. And as you can probably guess, it didn't stay a secret long. Clarissa told one friend in strict confidence. That friend told another. And before long, every woman in the store knew we were together. Didn't matter though. Our relationship was solid. No arguments, passionate nights, plenty of laughter. Clarissa was beautiful. Soft curls, stunning smile, curves that drew eyes when she walked past. She usually started her shift an hour before me and clocked out earlier too. Everything seemed steady. Until Vince was hired. Vince came on board as a stock assistant. He handled unloading deliveries, moving inventory, the physical stuff. At first, he struck me as completely average. Regular face, lean and strong from manual work, a bit taller and broader than me. But the guy had one thing going for him. He was a shameless charmer. It didn't take long for word to spread. Vince had a habit of working his way through the female staff like it was a competition. He'd cozy up to one woman, turn on the charm, then take her out after work. Sooner or later, it always crashed. She'd ghost him or slap him with a rejection, and he'd just move on to the next. Normally, I wouldn't have cared. Men like that aren't worth the stress. But Vince, he had it in for me right from day one. He'd constantly toss out subtle insults in front of others. Never enough to warrant a punch, but enough to sting. The worst part. I couldn't even come up with good comebacks in the moment. Later at night, I'd replay those conversations in my head, thinking, damn it, I should have said that. But by then it was too late. He'd crack jokes about my polished shoes. Looks like the only lifting Mason does is bending down to shine those loafers. Or if I looked tense. Relax, man. If you're that worried about making it to the bathroom, adult diapers are on sale. Aisle 12. People laughed. Including Clarissa sometimes. Bastard. Kept my mouth shut. I wasn't going to stoop to his level. Eventually I started dodging him. I'd take different paths in the store, avoid common areas, anything to stay out of his orbit. But it was like he had a radar for me, popping up just to take jabs in front of others. Then it got worse. He found out about Clarissa and me. Suddenly, I'd catch them talking in quiet corners. No customers around, just him leaning in, her smiling in that coy way, twirling her hair like she used to with me. That night, I laid it out straight for her. Clarissa, I said, this guy isn't just making my life hell. He's a predator. He's already been through half the women here. He's targeting you next. She chuckled, gave me that sweet look I'd fallen for and said, Mason, I love you. You've got nothing to worry about. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I wanted to believe her. But deep down I wished she'd go further. Cut him off completely, tell him to back off. The next day I saw them again. Out in the main aisle, nowhere near her department. She was laughing, glowing, leaning toward him. Her body language screamed interest. Feet pointed at him, arms uncrossed, leaning in. I've read enough marketing books to spot attraction when I see it. And that wasn't all. Throughout the day, I saw them talking in different parts of the store. Always far from where she should have been working. Always that same energy between them. That night she lied. Straight-faced. Told me she hadn't even spoken to him. I could have confronted her. Hell, I had security footage. But it wouldn't have changed anything. They hadn't crossed the line physically yet. If I pushed too hard, she'd just get better at hiding it. A part of me still clung to the hope she'd come to her senses. So I started watching. I'd come in an hour early. Sit in the security room under the guise of studying customer patterns for a marketing project. Really, I was just watching them. Meanwhile, I doubled down on affection, talking about future plans, slipping in little surprises, desperate to win her back before it was too late. Then came the Saturday that changed everything. She didn't come home after work. Said she was meeting her girlfriends and would be late. I knew instantly, without proof, where she really was. The proof didn't take long to show up. Around midnight I got a message from Vince. A link to a cloud video. Clicked it. My heart sank. There she was. Fully engaged, fully willing, completely his. Then Vince flipped the camera to himself mid-act. Looked right into it, smirked and flipped me off. He knew I'd be watching. At the end, he tapped her nose playfully, and she giggled, clearly enjoying herself. "Let's save this video for later," he whispered. "So we can remember the good times." She laughed, puckered her lips, and blew a kiss at the camera, without the slightest idea he planned to share it. That was it. No going back. I packed her belongings that night, every last thing she owned, and dumped them at her parents' doorstep before dawn. I rang the bell and drove off before anyone saw me. Back home, I opened the gin bottle she'd given me months before. But as I sat there, a twisted idea sparked. Vince would expect me to be humiliated, probably waiting at work, ready to gloat with the entire store watching. He likely planned to show the video around, making me the laughingstock. But I wasn't going to give him that satisfaction. I unplugged everything. Phone, doorbell, even stuffed my ears with cotton. Tiffany showed up that night, screaming and banging on my door, but I didn't hear a thing. Neighbors later told me she made quite a scene. Next morning I parked a block from the store, walked in cool as ice with a paper bag under my arm. There Vince was, standing near the entrance with a crowd of workers, some already whispering, some waiting for the drama. Gave them a show. "Vince," I called out cheerfully. "Man, I owe you a favor." Everyone went quiet. "Here," I said, pulling out the gin bottle. "This is from my house, so nobody can say I'm stealing store stock. Drink it, share it with Clarissa, whatever." He blinked, confused. "I've been trying to dump her for months, man," I said loud enough for everyone to hear. But she hadn't done anything wrong. I couldn't find an excuse. I grinned wider. "Then you swooped in. I just kept quiet, waited for you to do your thing. And buddy, you delivered. You saved me. I owe you big time." Murmurs spread through the crowd. "What are you talking about?" he growled. "You didn't know." Feigned surprise. "I let this whole thing happen. You were my escape plan. You took her off my hands. Now I'm free. Thanks for the assist." Some laughed. Some just stared. Then I spotted something better. A phone in one of his buddies' hands, paused on that video. "Perfect." "Hey," I said, snatching the phone. "Mind if I take a peek?" The guy froze. I acted casual, selected all the videos in Vince's folder, hit send to all contacts, and pretended it was an accident. "Oh no," I muttered, pressing play. "Looks like I hit the wrong button." The video began to play. Gasps rippled through the room. Within minutes, the store exploded into chaos. Turns out Vince had more than just Clarissa's video. He had lots of videos. Many featuring women from the store. Some were married. And thanks to his job, Vince had numbers for husbands, co-workers, even a few store managers. People's phones started blowing up. 5 women burst into tears, some shouting at both me and Vince. Clarissa didn't show her face until lunch. Pale, trembling, eyes swollen from crying. She looked around like her entire world had collapsed. I didn't say a word to her. She didn't dare approach me. The next day, Vince didn't come in. Rumor was he'd been jumped, badly. Word spread that some husbands had tracked him down. He was in the hospital. Broken ribs, fractured jaw. No idea if he'd recover fully, but we all knew he wouldn't be coming back to the store. Some of the women who'd been exposed returned to work, hiding their faces under layers of makeup. But their shame was plain to see. I'd love to say I felt bad about it, but honestly, I slept better than I had in months. Thanks for hearing me out. Feel free to weigh in. What would you have done differently? And hey, if you like this story, Stick around for more tales of betrayal, revenge, and unexpected twists. Until next time, take care.